Welcome back, everyone. The Missouri basketball team's satisfying season seemed at its peak just a couple days ago. 30 wins under its belt, a Big 12 tournament championship, and a one-way ticket punch to the NCAA tournament as a top seed. Then, an underestimated, low-seeded Norfolk State would crash the Tigers' party and make NCAA tournament history. Dorial Green Beckham was not listed on today's release of the depth chart, but that could change before the first scrimmage of fall camp on August 11th. Senior tailback Kendall Lawrence said he used to get lost all the time as a freshman around Columbia on Mizzou's campus. He said, even as a senior, I still get lost sometimes. We're going to flash back really fast to 13 years ago. There's a job opening at Missouri for the head basketball coach position after Norm Stewart decides to retire. A couple of the job applicants include Tulsa head coach Bill Self and New Jersey Nets coach John Calipari. Neither of these men end up being the Missouri hire. Now, Calipari and Self aren't competing for a job. They're competing for a national title. McGaffey's love for Batman doesn't just stop at the movie theater. He's got a Batman tattoo on his back. He saves pizza boxes, fruit roll-up boxes with Batman logos on it, and has a poster in his room. His teammates even mention he's got a pair of lucky Batman boxers. The men's basketball team's last regular season opponent could be its next. The St. Louis Cardinals are off to an undefeated start to this season, just 160 more games until absolute perfection. So I'm outside of the Missouri Theater, the venue of this year's Mizzou Roars, and I'm actually here with Mizzou campus power couple, quarterback James Franklin and Missouri volleyball player Molly Krecklow. This is the first Memorial Day in 3 years that the Missouri Tigers softball team is not preparing for the College World Series. Baggett isn't the only kicker in the SEC with one leg shorter than the other. Caleb Sturgis from Florida also has limb length discrepancy.
First team all Big 12 to no team SEC. In tonight's edition of Zavala at the Zoo, KOMU8's Ashley Zavala tells us about E.J. Gaines trying to earn some respect in a new conference.
Whedon with the empty, takes the snap, throws it into the end zone, intercepted by E.J. Gaines. He's going to run it out.
E.J. Gaines returns to Mizzou after dominating the Big 12 Conference last year. As a cornerback, he recorded 69 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 16 pass breakups. Gaines received first-team All-Big 12 honors in his first year as a starter.
Intercepted by E.J. Gaines at the goal line.
He wanted it. He was out there doing the extra when a lot of us weren't, so it showed up on Saturdays.
Gaines relates his success at corner to his experience on offense. He used to be a running back in high school.
I think it definitely helped out a lot coming from playing the offensive side of the ball. You got better ball skills, and it just kind of makes you an overall better corner. Instead of breaking up passes, now you can intercept the passes because you can catch better.
Good with press coverage, off coverage, that's what makes a good corner. But he also, looks for the ball, and, that makes him, hard to, run routes against because he's always, following the quarterback.
This season, the junior will try to dominate the SEC, a conference where the top 2 cornerbacks had less pass breakups and more tackles, a conference that Gaines says is less fun.
As a cornerback, we have to make plays in the running game and tackling, being physical and everything, but it's the passing game where we make our money at. So coming from a conference where they're going to throw the ball 35, 40 times a game to the Southeastern Conference where they're going to throw it maybe 20, 25 times a game. It's just different.
Despite his success in the Big 12 last season, Gaines isn't getting much respect from the SEC. He received not a single preseason honor.
I'm all right with it. Anytime you go to a new conference, you gotta show yourself. I know I had a good year in the Big 12, but I didn't in the SEC, so I wouldn't expect anything else. Just like a freshman coming to Mizzou, they got to earn their keeps.
Gaines is an avid Twitter user. With Mizzou's move to the SEC, he says he wants to part with his current Twitter name at GainesTrain31. He says new conference, new Twitter name, new statistics, new awards, new everything. With the SEC's expansion comes SEC Media Day expansion. The SEC distributed more than 1,100 credentials for this year's Media Days.
It's a little bit of an out-of-body experience. So yesterday I was actually feeling kind of dizzy with all the things moving around because there's so many people. The Big 12 is always a busy media day, but this is really just a different dimension.
Well, obviously with adding Texas A&M and Missouri, it's going to be bigger. There's more different people. There's more media. You're here, and that's kind of cool. But when you've won 6 straight national championships, each year more and more and more people show up, and they wonder, can the SEC do it again? I've been to all the media days, and trust me, there is no other media day like this one.
One of the most notable parts of the event is the extra attention put on players and coaches.
These coaches and players are like rock stars. They got the cameras backing up and all that kind of stuff, and they're coming up the escalator with a spotlight down there, and it's It's amazing, but that just shows you the interest in SEC football. People here eat this stuff up.
Sometimes you can't even tell who the person is inside of the scrum because you'll just see a massive group of media following, and inside you don't know who's there. It's like a cocoon, the coach is surrounded.
While players and coaches talk with the media upstairs, fans wait downstairs.
I've really never seen that before, other than being here once or twice before. And you don't quite see that with the Big 12.
Tomorrow morning, I don't care how early you go, there's going to be wall-to-wall Alabama fans with helmets, hats, shirts, babies, whatever to get signed. It is unlike when Alabama shows up at this event, it's not like anything else.
In Hoover, Alabama, Ashley Zavala, KMU8 Sports.
In tonight's edition of Zavala at the Zoo, Ashley Zavala shows us how his faith fuels his play on the football field.
Quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger, for the wrath of man is not the righteousness of God. I would say, bro, thank you for allowing us to come together here as friends and as brothers, and to be able to worship you and to spend more time talking about you. Thank you that you've allowed us to have a good 2 days so far.
With a 2-day break from fall training camp, Missouri quarterback James Franklin works on a craft other than football. He studies the Bible.
It's kind of like the same thing they say about football, is that you can't come out here and stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. And the same thing with Christianity. I mean, if you're not reading, if you're not keeping up on your spirituality, then you don't improve as a Christian.
Each week, Franklin leads a Bible study with teammates to discuss how their faith and religion is helping them get through life of being a student athlete.
The Bible says do all you can do and then stand, so I just got to just work hard, and I know it'll all work out. So that's really encouraging for me.
Franklin's leadership is not limited to just Missouri's offense. He says he tries to encourage all of his teammates to do well as football players and as human beings.
I don't want to force on anybody because it's a choice. You can't make somebody want to read or become a Christian, anything like that. So it's all choice. So I try to do my best to let them go at their own pace, but at the same time let them know that if they want to, I'll be there. All right, guys. Jesus on 3.
Ashley Zavala.
1, 2, 3.
KMU8 Sports.
Jesus!
Columbia.